Hey guys, welcome back to TNT Homesteading. Today I've got a project to build a bed frame for the bed we're going to be putting in the cabin. One of our requirements, we could just buy a bed. That would be easiest. I mean, we're buying a mattress, but we could buy a bed frame. But what we're wanting to do is all of our camping gear that we use are in some different totes. And what we're wanting to be able to do is take these totes and just slide them underneath the bed. So what I need is a bed that has a clearance that will allow us to slide these totes underneath them. I just measured that I need a 15-inch clearance, and so we'll be making a bed with a 15-inch clearance, and the plan's to bring you along. One of the first things I'm going to end up doing is cutting legs. My 4x4 cedar beam to 18 3/4 inches long. That way we can, let's see here, that way I'll have my 15-inch clearance and be able to attach, well, this is the piece that goes onto this board, but we'll be able to attach the connectors to it and to be able to still hide those connections on those legs. So that's the first step. So time to get busy. So the first step is to get these legs cut down to size. I've got one so far. Thankfully, a buddy of mine has a saw that can do this in a single cut. Otherwise, I was going to have to use my circular saw or my table saw and just rotate that 4x4 until I could cut it all the way through. I've done it before. It's just sort of a hassle. This makes the job so much easier. There's really nothing better than the right tool. Anyway, let's get these legs cut. All right, so the bed legs are cut to length and they're perfect. As I got to thinking about it, I went ahead and cut a spacer so I could space those legs up the side rails to the perfect length on all four places, because for it to be level and flat, that's going to be very important. So I cut a spacer as well. So the next step will be to cut the side rails and the footboard railings. The footboards will be 55 inches wide, same with the headboard, and the sideboards will be 75.5 inches. So that's next up, and except for some support beams, that'll be everything cut, assuming I do this right. Anyway, well, that's the bed frame. Well, most of it anyway. We just got to put it all together. I have, with the 2x4s, I'm going to put some supports on the side rails for the slats that'll go across, and I'll still need to cut the slats, but I want to get the bed put together. The metal brackets there will attach the side rails to the headboard footboard. That way I can take it apart and move it instead of just screwing it all together. It'll make moving it in the future easier. And then, like I said, once it's together, I got my 2x4s cut to support the bed frame rails, or the slats. I still got to cut those 2x4s. I still got to cut the slats, and I'll do that once it's all put together. So now the tedious part of putting everything together, measuring again, probably measuring again before I screw everything together. I can't wait. All right, the headboard and the footboard are done. And as you can see in this picture, that tub slides underneath it without any issue. I still have to put my mounting bracket on for the side rails and then add some supports. I've got glue drying, so I've got some clamps on the four legs. I do have them. I'm not sure you can see in this picture here. I've got some metal brackets there holding them together, and now I just let it dry. All right, it's coming along nicely. I've got 3 of the 4 corners done, but I thought I would at least sort of show you what I was doing here. Let me zoom in on that corner a little bit. So I have, well, here. There we go. Some brackets there that can slide on and off and attach it. So I still have to do that on this side. And then I can take the side rails off. And the headboard off and transport it just like you would a normal bed. Once that's done though, before I do all that, once I get these brackets in, there's a couple of screws I still need to add to it, but I'll have to take it off and finish putting them on there. And then I'm going to put a 2x4 between those 2 brackets on the side rails so we can put some slats on it. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. Well, I'm almost done. I'm working on the last support for the railing. Initially, those brackets were going to be the other way around. So the 2x4, let me show you what this side looks like. The 2x4 was initially going to rest on top of those brackets, but I didn't have the clearance, as you can see. So the plan was altered. We turned these upside down. I had to figure out what the height was, and I got them screwed in. I'll set the 2x4 on top of them and then screw in from the bottom to attach it. I had these there so I could adjust my height, because the plan will be to put slats all the way across this so that the bed will also rest on these 4x4 braces as well. I'm just trying to get as much support as possible. If needed, I can put something in the middle to come across the bed, but it's only a full size. I don't think that's going to be necessary, but we'll know for sure once we get the bed. But I really don't think that's going to be necessary. So I will cut this I'll attach this 2x4, measure my slats, and get them cut. Almost done. Well, time's up. I need 3 1x4s to finish this project up. I've got one more plan to do, which I could work on, but we have somewhere we need to go and I need to get cleaned up. So basically what we have here is I have my 1x4, which is sitting on the 4x4s, and I'm just going to attach that to there. And then I've got a 1x4 spacing between each one of these. I am planning on taking a piece of 1x4 and attaching it to the 2x4 here, so whenever it's time to move the bed, we can just put the slats in those little holes, and it'll make things a whole lot easier. And I remember bunkie boards and bunk beds where the slats would sometimes fall out, and then sometimes the bed would be compromised. So I need 3 more 1x4s and to cut a few pieces of 1x4 to fill in between these things. But it's done. I did double check the inside measurement, and it's perfect for a full-size bed, which is what we're after. I don't know what, if anything, my bride has planned for the finish, because for the most part we probably won't see most of any of this except for maybe the legs, because we'll have a blanket over it and whatnot. But the mattress shouldn't slide around, or at least slide off the bed. We got a little bit of leeway on the edges, so I'm really happy with this thing, and I can't wait to get the last couple of boards and then get the mattress and get this to the cabin. All right, it's done. I had to go to the store and buy a couple more boards. for the slats, and it looks good. I do need, part of it's decorative, part of it's not, but I'm going to put 4 big nails on each of the corners on the what would be the headboard and the footboard. That'll just help hold those 4x4s against that railing better, and we'll go from there. But I'm done. I did put in just some spacers to make it easy when you're putting it together. They'll just slide right in. And then also, once the bed is in place, these won't shake out like at least I remember the bunkie boards doing back whenever I was in bunk beds. I do know my wife plans on either painting or staining. She hasn't decided yet. So anyway, it wasn't as hard as I was expecting, and as far as I know, this is my first piece of furniture. Anyway, the dog fits under it, so that's what matters. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.